All right, you guys, I want to bring you in on some moments that I've been having lately. Eclipse season. We just had um the total eclipse, and it was not easy for me. A lot of stuff came up. And when a lot of stuff comes up, it basically I get triggered, and what I've been holding in terms of like lower frequencies that have been blocking divine order, blocking divine will, blocking power, blocking love, come up, and it's like vomiting, right? All of this stuff. And my husband triggered me. And I'm so glad that he triggered me, because what happened was I was like, I spewed, right? And what that looks like is it's like it's really messy, right? It's like all the things that you want to say, and you're not, there's no filter to it. And it just ejects out of you. What happens in that moment is you are freeing yourself, and your vibration lifts instantly, especially actually only if, I'll say only if you're activated, your heart is activated in your divine codes or your God codes. Because then what happened was all of a sudden it's like I turned into peace, like total peace. I was exhausted, but total peace. And like there was not like any fight in me. It was just complete peace. And then I got really curious about why I'm being triggered like this. Like, what is it? What's on the other side of the trigger? And uh divine creation is always on the other side of a trigger when you're working with the new human codes. So what happened was my husband and I got into like this big argument, and it lasted just like a couple days, but we weren't like blasting each other for several days. We just had to take some space. And what we woke up this morning, and we both were kind of like, we don't know what to say to one another, right? We don't know what to do. And then I was thinking like, wait a minute, no, I do. I know exactly what this is. Because what you don't know about my husband and I, or maybe you do, is that the woman, right, me, I've gone ahead for several years, and I've paved this pathway of divine creation, creating in the new reality, creating the new human, the new woman. Like I am the new woman upgraded. And like, so I've been following my soul pathway now for 10 years. And when I met my husband, we met and our hearts magnetized, and we both knew that we were going to create something amazing together on earth. We both felt it. And he was like, we have something so big that we're here to create. And when he said that, like he looked at me and his whole face was lit up, and he was like, oh my God, like it's here, it's finally here. Like we're finally together. And it was like there's like fireworks going on in heaven when we came back together, because we met for the first time when we were teenagers. And it was the same way. It was like, boom, wow, the spark of God, right? And we were immature, and we had to experience what love wasn't. And we had to go through our earth school to be able to understand when we got together what like love would really feel like. And it is like, it's cosmic, it's galactic. It's also, you got to do earth stuff. And so I'm sharing this with you because I want you to know that what you're dreaming about and what you want to create is real and true. And that's the only reality. Love is meant to feel like fireworks and celebration and warmth and connection. And when it doesn't, it means that it's not in divine alignment. Very important to know going into the next stage of our life post eclipse, is that if it doesn't feel like that, it's not in divine alignment. And what that means is that there's interferences that are getting in the way of being in a pure space when it comes to love. And this happens with my children too. So when I'm with my children, it feels like, oh, right? Because I'm like vibing with the kids that I created, and they're young, they're like 16, 13, and 9. They're young, but I'm vibing with them. It's because I got myself into divine alignment, and kids are very much in divine alignment. And when you're in divine alignment, the only reason why you get triggered is because there's something impure that needs to move through you so that you can get back in divine alignment. All right. And divine alignment means you are manifesting, baby. You are pulling amazing things out of the sky. You are activated. You have guidance tuned in, and you're thriving no matter what is going on in the world. And that's super important. So what I shared with my husband this morning was, here's what I think is going on, honey. I said, here's what I think is going on. Remember that we were not arbitrarily put together. We're God's chosen people. Remember that within our hearts, we complete a destiny together, right? We have a destiny that we're supposed to complete together. What my husband was saying was that he thought that I was too individualistic, and that he felt like I wasn't including him in my vision, which is my business, right? The business that I have. And after me getting triggered about that, because I'm like, I'm 100% here for you. I'm always here for you. I'm always loving you. I love you. And I was like crying. But what I realized, what he was actually saying, and it's time that we have to actually take a completely different perspective to what people in our lives are actually saying to us, because he was actually telling me, and after the trigger moved through me, I got this. He was actually telling me, it's time for us to really focus in on what Carrie and Chris are meant to build together in the world. And that's what he was saying to me. I want to do this with you. I want to build something with you. I want to create something with you. And we've done it in different bits and pieces, but that's what he was saying. Okay. So the thing that is triggering you is not really the thing. The thing that's triggering you is a wake-up call to get in alignment with the divine. Okay. And if you want help getting in alignment with the divine, so you can manifest amazing things during these times, it's happening. So book a call with me and I can show you how to do that. Some first steps. Obviously, I'm not going to show you everything about how to do that, but so what's going on? So what further happened is I just kept channeling the message. And I said, remember that it blew me over. It was like, I have my piece that works for what I was doing before we met. But remember, Chris, that you have all the pieces that you have. And the reason why life is feeling so hard right now, because he's a business owner. He doesn't want to be doing it. He is coming to the end, but the end is not as close as he wants it to be. And that's really hard, right? That's really hard when you're working in an old paradigm and you're meant to create a new paradigm from within you, that you don't actually know how to do it, right? And so he was standing right next to me and his eyes were like, oh my God, you're speaking such truth to me. And I just kept channeling and I was like, I have the pieces and you have the pieces. I think the reason why it's been such a struggle for you and why you think I've been so individualistic is because I think your pieces, your divine plan is actually coming on board with you right now. Right? And that's so exciting. What happens before divinity comes in and divine order sets in is chaos, right? Being out of alignment with who you really are creates an internal and an external chaos in your reality. But when you step in and you realize that the only reason why chaos is occurring is because it's time for you to create divine order in your life. And when you create divine order in your life, what happens is flow, love, joy, peace, money, expansion happens. So the call for both my husband and I to expand is that what I realized is that it's time for whatever we're building next, because we built a lot together. Whatever we're building next, we're graduating out of a cycle together. And both of us are getting these inklings. I'm certainly getting this vision and he's getting this vision. I think he's getting the vision. But what I said to him is like, what's in you is going to come through you, through activation, which I activate my husband, and he activates me as well, so that the foundation of whatever is next can start to be built. And here's the thing about divine order. You are always building a foundation, and you are filling that foundation with the ingredients of whatever the vision God gave you to create on earth. And men and women do this together. I believe, because I'm a prototype for the new human archetype for the divine feminine, that women right now are waking up, and there's chaos. The way that you wake up and the way that God wakes you up is through chaos, because things don't feel right, and things actually feel kind of scary, and they feel kind of dark, and I'm noticing this in my husband, right? And it's like, they feel scary. It feels kind of dark. It feels like things are just like never going to happen. But that's actually where, if you're in the right community, if you have the right leadership and you have the right mentor, what happens is you can actually create amazing things during chaos. And if you look around, right? I know this because I've been channeling so much recently and in the last several years, that I am a pioneer. So I've pierced through all of what's happening right now. And I'm well ahead of timelines to understand, hey, everybody right now, myself included, because I'm always evolving, is going through certain levels of chaos. I would certainly say mine was mild chaos the last few days, but I know that chaos is a predecessor to divine order. And what God wants in this world is for his chosen ones to be living in divine order. I will say this right now. Not everybody is a chosen one. Not everybody has what it takes to follow God's plan and to really, really create what God created them to create. Not everybody can do that. I will say this right now. It does take, what did I put in this title? Relentless commitment. And what I said to my husband, because our love was being challenged by fear and separation and anxiety and panic, that we were going in different directions. And what that said to me is that's not part of the plan. For two divine beings to be put together, all of a sudden, because of a fight, to go in different directions, absolutely is not in alignment with God. What it means is that these two individuals come together stronger, right? Come together stronger to unify in a greater force within through love. And what I was telling this to my husband, and he was crying. He was looking at me, and I was speaking God. I mean, I was channeling all of this just for him, for us, as brothers and sisters, for us. This is what's going on. Chaos is the predecessor to divine order. The things that you desire want you, but the things that you desire are not going to come to you if you don't know how to get yourself in alignment with the higher virtues, the inner source. And many of you are needing an upgrade. I'll say that right now, are needing an upgrade. And this is what my husband was really coming to me for. I need an upgrade. I don't know how to upgrade myself. And so by me channeling, it turned on what was inside of him. Because I said to him, I'm like, Chris, you have it. You have the knowledge and the wisdom. You're a creator. We're both creators. The reason why it's been so hard is because we need each other. And this is so important. We need each other to turn on those codes of our unified purpose. And when those codes are turned on of our unified purpose, what happens is expansion happens. God happens, right? God's like, the only reason why people right now are so like empty on the inside is because they're missing their God aspect. And that's what he was like, okay, something's missing, something's wrong, something's off. And going, both of us going back into our old programming, which was like anger, like frustration, thinking that love didn't exist, like wanting to quit. But it wasn't that at all. It was what wants to come and birth through you right now. And so as I share this with him again, he's just like, he left the house to go to work. He turned around and he came back and he like ran into the kitchen and he's like, thank you so much. And I was like, honey, like we create our own world, remember? And it took this whole thing for me to remember on a deeper level what's going on. Because sometimes I can get on autopilot, right? And when you get on autopilot, you kind of just, you're not like consciously aware sometimes of what's really going on. So here's the wrap up message. If things are chaotic for you right now, it's because divine order wants to come into your life. And when divine order comes into your life, that's when you can amplify the blessings. That's when magic comes in. That's when you can actually allow God to orchestrate the beautiful things in your life that you are asking for. And so for my husband and I, we're asking for our family to come together. We're asking for, more love in our family, more love to create in the world. We're also asking for this, show us, right? And so show us really, to me, is letting go of whatever is getting in the way of having clarity. And I reminded my husband this, I said, you knew that I was the one, right? You knew, and you came to me and you said, you are the woman of my dreams. And we've both loved other people before, but there's something that is unyielding and unstoppable and relentless about a love that God chose and said, you two are my disciples. You have a message to share. And, we went to Culebra recently, which is where we got married. And the message was, I chose both of you. I brought both of you here to do something extraordinary in the world. And so when I shared that with my husband, he went, oh my God, it was just so beautiful. That's God. So right now, God is allowing the darkness to disrupt and to awaken. The disruption, the chaos, the war, the awakening is to find who is going to rise up. Who is going to be the phoenix rising out of the ashes right now? Who is going to be the one to say, you know what, my life, this chaos, I don't want to live in it, because, I've said a lot of very truthful things over the last several videos. If you don't choose to create something different and learn how to do that, And different means according to how you feel on the inside and the desires that you want that are given to you by God, so that you can live in divine order, which divine order, people who are going to live in divine order and fulfill their God's destined plan are going to be the wealthiest and the most prosperous and most abundant human beings on earth. And it does take a while to do that. So all of a sudden, money's not going to come flying out of the air. All of a sudden, your husband, who is going to be your divine masculine, twin, is not going to all of a sudden walk through your front door. That's just not going to happen. It takes a long time to get in alignment with the precision of who you are. But I will tell you this, because as someone who has done it and is continuing to do that, there's nothing more fulfilling than standing in your kitchen and crying tears of joy and love with your beloved, because you understand that the fight wasn't really the fight, and that you don't have to live in war, that you can live in complete peace and harmony, no matter what is going on externally. And this is very important. And this goes into when I first started this and first got activated in the new human codes, I saw the earth, and I knew that the earth was going to go through major crisis. I saw that, but I also saw ascended realities. These were sanctuaries popping off the earth. And so we have to live on earth until we can teleport to other places. We might be able to, but we have to live on earth. But we do not have to live of earth. Okay, so you don't have to be in the chaos. You will have to get your inner self into a place of tranquility, and I call it neutrality. So you will have to get yourself in a place, and this is, I think, the first level of work, is to alchemize whatever lower frequencies you have going on in your heart. And you have to train your brain to start thinking as a creator, because you were born a creator, but because of social programming, you think that you're not, right? And so this is where those interferences come along. But my work knows solutions for every single thing that could possibly stop you from being the God source creator that you know you are. And so this video is really a call to say, are you feeling that call to move yourself out of the chaos? Are you feeling that call to be with someone like me who is going to speak truth to you, right? And channel truth to you, just like I did to my husband, which is like, hey, this isn't really, let's look at a different perspective in this. We're not actually going our separate ways. That could never happen. We could never be separated, because God wants us together. And that is a fact, right? So let's look at how this is actually going to bring us closer to what we're wanting. And so then the message came through. So here's the deal, as I kind of wrap this up. You've been watching a lot of my videos, and, hopefully they've been awakening you, because that's my purpose. It's to help you awaken and understand that you might see me on the other side of this video, but understand that once, not too long ago, I was in your shoes looking for someone like me to help awaken me, to help me on my pathway, to help me make it not so scary, right? To walk with me, right? As I take steps forward. I will say this, and I say this in a lot of my videos, the era of healing is over. I want you to look at, on the other side of this eclipse, what happened was the people who have been creating their own reality got a major uplift. And the people who have been healing started to realize that the healing actually didn't work, because the truth of what really works is that you heal everything when you honor your connection to your divine self and you create what you came here to create. I will tell you this, I never, in my I shouldn't say that. I started with Reiki, but Reiki wasn't strong enough for me. And it's nothing against Reiki. I knew that creating my own reality and honoring the gift that was in my heart and soul to create in this world was going to solve every problem that I had. And it did. And it does. Because when you have access to your greater God self, you heal everything that you could possibly heal. And I'll say this, I have been, last year I was very sick. I was very ill. I didn't know it until I got an energy scan from this amazing woman that was put into my lap by God at the right time. And I had to change my entire diet. I got better. That was God. Okay. When, when I'm going to do big things and I require financial support, God always provides me with the financial support through my business. The clients always show up, the money always shows up. And this is like walking in faith, not by fear, which is, it's never going to work out for me. It's so hard. Why is it so hard? So that's a reverse spin, right? You don't want a reverse spin in life right now. It's very dangerous to be in the reverse spin. But when God interferes, and God's interfering right now and saying, you don't have to continue to reverse spin. I chose Carrie to help you go in the direction of your dreams. And there's a lot of people right now, I know this is happening. There's a lot of healers who kind of might be waking up to being like, wait a minute, I can clear and clear and clear and clear, but if I'm not actually piercing through and ascending because I'm doing those, I'm following, truly following my heart, what happens is you spin, and when you spin, the past jumps on top of that spin and it actually pulls you backwards. So I'll call that like a negative healing cycle. True healing occurs when you break out of the cycles of life that you're in and you start to create the reality that God gave you to create. And again, I will say there are profound rewards for those people who are doing it. That is where you become the king and queen of the new earth. That is where just this week I did an activation where my entire body filled with gold. I've been doing this for years. That's a vibrational shift. I was like, wow, something big is coming in because my entire body got filled with solid gold. That's God's gold. That's my soul's wealth. At the same time, I got into a huge fight with my husband and I said, that's no coincidence. We're up leveling. Wow, what's coming through? I wonder what could possibly be shifting. Not in a negative way, in a positive way. Our minds have been programmed to think that when there's ever something bad going on, bad's not bad. We don't have to label it. We actually can't label it. It's just a message. Hey, up levels here. Are you going to take it? Are you going to get in? Are you going to get on that elevator? Or are you going to stay where you are in the struggle? Because if you spin in the struggle, you're going against God's plan. God doesn't want you to struggle. God wants to deliver you to everything you want. Fact. But when the spin happens and we've got what's going on in the world that's all negative, what's going to happen is boom. What do? I call it the snap back. You snap back. And then you go into a dependency on a healing cycle. And this is why so many people are broke right now, because they've been trying to heal. You're not broken. You're just out of alignment with God's plan for you. Get in alignment with God's plan and everything gets fixed. Relationships get fixed. Finances get fixed. Illnesses get fixed. I'm not saying all illnesses. Your illness might be something that you work with your entire life, like mine, right? But they get rectified. They get solved enough. So many people these days are, I've been healing. It's exhausting. Create the vision God put in your heart. Live your dreams. Knock the ball out of the ballpark. And everything will get delivered. Everything that God promised to you in this lifetime will get delivered to you. How about that? How cool is that? I think it's amazing. So if this is something that if you are in the relentless pursuit of the life that you know that you are meant to create, whatever it is, you know it within your heart, because it is creating, not living it is creating chaos in your life. Then book a call with me and I can help you with some steps just to get started on the pathway. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the story. And who knows what's coming through. It's amazing. I can tell you that right now, because it feels unity. It is unity consciousness. And unity consciousness is working together to achieve something new in the essence of God. Wow, what amazing times we're in right now. Truly, truly, truly. I wouldn't have said that at the beginning of the week, because the eclipse was moving all of the stuff that needed to go out of me. But now we are here. We are in new space, new time. You want to meet me here? Book a call. Take care.